Well, I thought I'd give you a little update on my seed starting here and show you what's sprouted. In these trays here I've got tobacco, and I think I'm going to make a whole another video series on that, just the tobacco itself. But I've got some peppers growing and also more peppers down here, quite a few tomatoes, some more tobacco in that one. Those are tomatoes. These ones in the center are tomatoes. These ones here are peppers. Those ones in the back there are all tomatoes, I do believe. And then here I have some eggplant and some cantaloupe, along with tomatoes in the center. And this is the first year I've started these seeds indoors. Usually I end up just buying my tomato plants and pepper plants, and I've learned a lot so far starting them myself. A couple of problems I ran into. As you can see, some of the leaves on these tomato plants are a bit curly, and I believe that's from too much water. I saturated them pretty good when I wanted them to sprout, and these ones in the center here have retained quite a bit of moisture just because there's not as much area to evaporate. And the ones over here actually hold, the soil that I used holds moisture much better than the other soils I've used. So these ones I don't have to water as much, and also the center ones. And these ones on the outside here where I've got cantaloupe and eggplant, they tended to dry out faster, so I've only got one little cantaloupe that sprouted and two eggplants that are doing pretty good. I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's a couple of sprouts of the eggplant, and I think what happened there is these were dry and I went ahead and I watered them, and when I did, I think the seeds floated to the top and they sprouted up top rather than in the ground, and they've kind of not been happy since then. But I've planted enough here that I can get away with that sort of thing, and I've learned quite a bit. Another thing I learned is I gave them a little bit too much water when they were sprouting, and that led to some mold issues, but I've since cut back on my watering, and that seems to have helped take care of that issue. Another thing I should probably do is get a fan down here, an oscillating fan. And what that'll do is it'll kind of blow my little plants around there, and that'll strengthen the stem, and it'll also help with any kind of mold issues and help circulate the air, get them some fresh stuff to breathe. But so far so good. I think I'll make a separate video on all the tobacco there. I've got tons of that growing, and some of these are looking a bit dry, so I'm going to go ahead and probably water some of them right now.